So my next question is regarding the concerns with data privacy and ethical implications that have intensified with the rapid expansion of AI. So how, say for example, a student or a layman person, how should they mitigate these challenges?
So, yeah, well, again, very, very important and pertinent question for our times, right? I think,
Yes.
where you're seeing so many frauds happening, cyber frauds, right? The mobile passwords, the OTPs, and they can be hacked, they can be obtained so easily.
Yes.
So, and then, for example, somebody's data is also very easily reachable, right?
Yes.
Fake accounts being created, fake.
Yeah, the deep fake thing.
Yeah, nowadays, somebody can call you who can look like your friend,
Exactly.
and but that person is not really there on the other side, right? So there is a lot of this happening. And then you also have incidents where not just identity theft or not just account theft, but then you also have situations where people are able to tap into your the CCTV at your home or the TV, the camera that you have in the mobile and the laptop, right? So there is a lot of that also happening. Now, how do you tackle this as a layman? Let's say I'm not a technical person, I'm not a developer. How would I handle this? Right? Now, obviously, again, I think here as well, first thing is to be aware what type of patterns are emerging, what type of plans are happening, and then being aware and taking the appropriate action is necessary. There, right? If I do not have technical background, using that is very very important. And now these again, actually forces you to have that discernment on whom to trust, when to trust, how much to trust.
Again, I think this goes back to wisdom.
Correct.
Right?
So if somebody is calling me and saying that, hey, and who looks like my friend, whose voice looks like my friend, but then I'm not really sure whether he or she is the right person because he's asking, let's say, 100,000 rupees out of me, right? So then you have to go back and see whether that person who seems to be on the call is really asking you. Can he be the person, right? Is it possible that he will ask you this? And if yes, then use your own wisdom. Call him on his number, right? So these type of basic things, right? For example, if you are using cameras, if you are using any technology solutions, make sure that they don't really invade your privacy to that level where you don't have a serenity, right? Whether they are not in your bedroom or whether they are not in bathrooms and things like that, right? And that's very very important because nowadays, if you don't use this level of discernment, technology solutions are everywhere. You will find things here and there. So that is very important, I think, from a layman's perspective. Then and again, I think a lot of our elders they have a very good solution to this. They will not entertain any of these requests.
Yes, that is true.
Right? And again, they may not have that much of technical depth in knowledge, but then they are like, okay, whatever you want, come in front of me and I'll give you 1 lakh rupees or whatever.
Sit, discuss, and we'll see.
Yeah. So they have that wisdom, right? They make the problem go away with that wisdom very easily. So that's as a layman. Now, let's say I'm a student, I'm a developer, I'm a technology person. How do we handle these type of problems which are coming up, right?
Yes.
And the key here is to again be one level ahead of the crime, right? That's how So if you have if you know that your thieves are driving a motorbike at 100 km per hour, you need a vehicle where you can drive 120 km per hour. Right? This is important. So being a developer in this type of world is very very important, and you need to have that level of skill. Right?
Yes.
That level of depth. And again, it goes back to that fundamental question because if you don't have that fundamentals, you are not going to be able to reach that speed, right? I mean, otherwise, you'll be tripped somewhere. So that's number one. Number two, a lot of ethical questions are also coming up, right? I mean, you have biases in AI algorithms. You have,
Yes, yes.
you have some level of discrimination happening somewhere in how the tool is operating and all. Again, I think here as well that depth of clarity will help you, right? I mean, so if let's say you are working on let's say productivity enhancement software, or you're working on some let's say where you're monitoring a big factory, right? I mean, you want to make sure that you have included not just the fully able, but also people who are handicapped, right? I mean,
Yes.
because there, the solution is going to look at different ways. So it has to be a little bit inclusive in that way.
Right.
Not just in terms of physical ability, not just in terms of religion or colors and the typical areas, the biases.
Like beyond that.
Yeah, beyond that, right? I mean, solution has to be human.
Right.
And I would say not even just human. I mean, obviously you also have a bigger consideration for the world around it, right? I mean,
Right.
whether it is animals, insect, trees, and all, right? I mean,
Yes, yes.
so it has to be encompassing all this aspect.
I think this is where the term responsible AI comes in.
Absolutely.
Right?
And that's where Industry 5.0 takes us.
Yes, yes. The role of what Industry 5.0 is playing in this rapidly evolving world. Right. So, my next question is, if you were a student to enter in today's world, how crucial it would be that the curricula is multidisciplinary, it is innovation driven?
Very, very important because a computer science problem is today not just computer science problem. I mean, you have multiple angles to it, right?
Right.
And the biggest innovation happens at times at boundaries of multidisciplines. Right? I mean, like, so for example, why Gen AI has reached where it is right now. We can argue, we can say that there was a mathematical revolution, there was a the entire software revolution, IT industry, the clouds, the internet, all of this has contributed. Well, that is true. But then there is the other part, the hardware.
Yes.
If the hardware for doing the Gen AI computation was not present, what would you do? So you see, any disruption really in the market comes from multi-disciplines coming together. Let's just go back. Internet.
Right.
How did internet come in?
Yeah, and disrupted
Was it
the
just
entire
software?
world.
Was it just software? Was it just browser? No. You also had the entire home in the telecommunication, right?
Yes.
Where you were able to transmit signals from one place to another very easily, in a broad area, very easily, in a big city, very easily. All of this coming together is what created that disruption.
Right.
So I think this gives you an idea, right? I mean, the
Yes,
real
yes.
disruptions come from
Multidisciplines.
multidisciplines coming together, and that's where the beauty is. I mean, where impossible starts becoming possible.
Right. So, we see that a lot of disruptions are going to happen. We can foresee that in our future. So, what are some best practices that newer emerging developers can take so that this transition that they will go through, they would be able to handle it?
Very good. Look, to be honest, I don't have the complete answer for that, right? Because nobody in the world really knows that answer.
Yes.
Everybody is just looking at. So earlier, what used to happen is like you have an industry, you have some trends, you would be able to see 5 years, 10 years down the line. I remember when I was at IBM, at IBM, the R&D division used to work for problems which are 10, 15 years down the line. Right now, the disruption is happening so quickly. The revolution is so fast. Nobody can really predict 2, 3 years, 5 years down the line. 10 years, forget about it. That's too far.
Yes.
Because you don't know what is really going to come out of the world that we are right now, the space at which we are moving. Right? So, honestly, I don't think anybody has an answer.
Right.
How can you prepare still? Being in the present moment is very important. Right?
Right.
What is important, as I said again, so going back to the tree analogy, right? I mean, no matter how big a storm comes, no matter how big the change comes,
The
what
roots
season
have
comes,
to
right?
be intact.
If you are strongly grounded, strongly rooted, then the seasons will come, the storms will come and go. But that is very important. So I think that's how I would prepare. Now, at least, okay. So what are we seeing? What can we predict right now? I think one thing is very clear that a lot of work that we are doing today is going to change for sure. Whether it's creative, whether it is analytical, whether it is routine manual work, all of that is going to change. Some profiles are going to be replaced with some new profiles. That is very clear.
Right.
What are those new profiles going to be? That's it. So anybody who uses Gen AI for, let's say, creative work, marketing work, development work, analysis work, financial work, right? Those profiles are going to be in demand for sure, at least for short term. That's what is clear. I mean, we are also seeing the trend in the industry that
Yes,
way.
yes, yes.
So that is very clear. Now let's go a little bit farther from that, right? Let's say AGI has reached level, right,
Right.
where a lot of these things are also you are also able to do very easily.
Very easy.
Then we will also see the revolution in the Gen AI world impacting the physical world even more. For example, autonomous systems. So
Yes.
you'll have a lot of, like, for example, this camera that we have, right? I mean, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the line, we don't have to adjust the angle
Right.
of the camera or mic. It will adjust itself.
Itself.
That is the level at which it will reach. So you'll have autonomous systems which are working according to your preference, according to your instructions. So that intelligence that we have right now in the software will start trickling down into the physical real world objects. Right? You'll have many more robots around you, many more autonomous
Yes.
systems around you, where you will have a lot of sensors doing a lot of things, and all of them will be operating, interoperating. And as soon as you enter your home, you will just turn on the light the way you want, the music that you want. All of these will become more and more
Smart
reality.
intelligent systems
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. So these things are going to come for sure. So again, I think if I were a student, how would I handle this? Prepare myself in not just in one domain of knowledge or in one skill set, in multiple different skill sets. So autonomous systems, IoT, hardware, definitely it's going to benefit a lot.
Right.
So having that integration is going to help.
I think working with the various AI tools that are coming in day by day.
Absolutely. That is there you have no choice. I mean
Right.
that is going to be as important as using your calculator. I mean, everybody is going to do that.
Right, that's true.
You cannot resist that change for sure.
Yeah, but there's no choice.
I mean, because everybody around you is going to use that, right? I mean, if you don't use that level of sophistication, I mean, your life may not be as rich, right?
Right.
And so
Right. So at the end, I just would like to know how was your first impression coming today at Karnavati University campus and the energy here? How was it?
So I think for that I would look at it from three different angles. One, the quality of students.
Right.
Second, the leadership quality of the university, and the third one would be the quality of the engagement here, right? For example, after I came, what has been the quality of engagement? So let's look at the quality of student. Amazing, very impressive, because when they reached out, right? I mean, starting from the point of reaching out to all the way here,
Right.
it's like they've been guiding. Okay, we do that. Yeah, we do that, and
Right,
after
right.
this will happen and option. So they have done a lot of meticulous planning. I mean, that shows the depth. To be honest, right? I mean, so this is the perception I, as an outsider, would get about the quality of students, right? I mean, if they are going to such a depth in making an interaction so fruitful, I'm sure they would, when they go outside into the real world, they would would also use this depth in their life, right? So that is number one. Number two, the leadership quality at the university. I mean, so I am engaged with multiple different uh, faculty members from the university, and the openness to engage, openness to learn from outside world is just amazing. And I think that is very impressive, because a lot of times academia I've seen where they close themselves down. They go in a lot of bureaucracy, they go into a lot of formalities and all. I understand how it works, right? I mean, I spent a lot of time in the academia, during my own studies, right? But then balancing that with the openness to engage uh, industry, engage with the industry, engage with the people outside, engage with the real problems is very important. And I think they become a conduit to the quality that student gets. So this is the second dimension. I think again there I have amazing interactions with the faculty members, the dean, overall the leadership that have been very very good. And third one, the level of the quality of content or the quality of engagement here. Right? I mean, I looked at the program, I looked at the type of people that have been invited, the workshops that are happening. It's just brilliant. I think that is preparing the students in the right direction, where they are getting a break from their typical academic assignments, the studies, but then during this time they are going and learning those life skills, the real world, how to solve the real world problem. I think that is from those three dimensions. I think it's very good, and I can definitely see that when somebody emerges, yeah, I mean somebody puts themselves into this level of quality, right? I mean when they come out as a student, I mean they will really benefit out of that.
Great, great to know how you have felt and how this was your best experience at Karnavati University. So, yes, at the end, I just want you to give just two advices to our technology students at Karnavati University.
Students are getting a lot of advice from everywhere, right? I don't think
Yes,
they
yes.
need more advice. I think their parents are giving them a lot of advice. That probably sometimes the faculty
They're
members also.
bombarded with a lot
Yeah.
of suggestions and advices from everywhere.
Uh, so still, I mean, you're asking me to give them an advice. So let's see what we can do for them. So I think advice would be they ask themselves what they really want. Go deeper,
Right.
find out the passion, and then find out real problems in the real world which you find fulfilling to solve, and then just get on it. I mean, just let go.
Get the things done.
Get the things done. I mean, that's it. I think this is what I would say, that if you do that, I mean, again, I'm not saying that this is an advice. If you do that, your life will, and life around the lives of people around you, the students will be very rich if they use this level of questioning and this level of engagement in the real life.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. It was wonderful having conversation with you. Thank you so much.